We're back with another reaction. We're going to be doing a bunch of reactions, so stay tuned. If you like these ones, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a bunch of new content on this channel, but I have another channel, Clearly Reviews. I have a bunch of content on there, and much more to come. But let's stay focused on what we're doing today. Today we're going to be talking about the lack of education for Budtenders and just the lack of education in the game and how that could be changed, or why it's even been so difficult for it to even evolve. Is it on purpose, or is it something that the brands have to take initiative for? Let's get into it.
That's outselling to 29.9.
Yep.
Every day.
It's just such a different market. Like, you actually have to curate your rec menu for THC percentage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the average customer in a dispensary that walks into is unfortunately less educated, because the dispensary customers or the dispensary workers don't really educate you. Like, your average bud tender isn't really teaching you what you're buying.
No, and the average bud tender also doesn't get to smoke everything. Like,
yeah, they don't know.
I'm assuming they have to pay for it if they want to smoke. Like, I'm sure you get an employee discount.
The dispo should be given, passing some J's out.
The brand should be. I
guess,
own that one.
yeah.
I'll own that one. But but the bud tenders, they can guide you to what they know, but again, it's only what they know. If they're not allowed to smoke everything, I can definitely do a better job at it on my end. We're blessed, like, we sell because we have brand recognition, obviously, and like, I have a platform that I utilize. But a lot of that too is like, the brands have to educate the bud tenders, as much as anybody else. So that definitely comes on the brand just as much.
Yeah.
So one thing I really respect about Beazy is he is not going to hold back. He's going to tell you just how it is. He's going to tell you that he can do a lot more to make this change. And he's someone who's speaking from the position of a brand. So he's someone that definitely can speak for brands that don't want to speak. A lot of brands will hold back in a situation like this and not tell it how it is. He's definitely going to say how it is in most ways. And I think that's something that's a very useful thing. If you're willing to listen to him, you'll learn a lot. And what you can hear right now is he's saying that a lot of brands aren't going to actually have bud tenders selling their stuff that are knowledgeable about their stuff. They're kind of just throwing shit at the fan, and it is what it is. It's something that is sad, but it's definitely reality, because a lot of the bud tenders aren't making enough to be able to buy literally everything in the store, and the brands aren't giving it to them to actually sample and all that. A lot of the times brands are giving it to these reviewers who are doing God knows what with it, or they're doing a lot of different things that are kind of useless but good in a clout way, which is honestly very financially valuable right now, because a lot of people do buy with their eyes, and they basically buy depending upon what a rapper says, when realistically these rappers have no clue. A lot of these rappers are usually only smoking the stuff that they get for free, so their level of understanding is basically what they get for free, so they can only compare to what other stuff they got for free, which is most of the time not going to be the grade A, the best, the stuff that's going to be able to sell itself. You don't have to give it away to people for free if it's able to sell itself. So it allows those people who are only basing it upon what they get for free to have a certain level of understanding, which is why you can see a lot of the reviewers in the game right now are sort of holding the game back, because a lot of people are taking all of these different donations and acting like it was the best thing they've ever tried. Everything's a 10 out of 10. Everything's great. Everything's good. But most of it is trash.
Obviously. And like, I have a platform that I utilize. But, a lot of that too is like, the brands have to educate the bud tenders, as much as anybody else. So that definitely comes on the brand just as much.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I hope in the future we see bud tenders maybe like with a little more knowledge on average.
Yeah. Again, I do think that it's the whole system, though. Like, they have to learn
from
somebody. Somebody has to teach them, whether it's the brands or the
teaching them. It's not the bud tender's fault. Yeah. It's the fact that no one's teaching them.
Yeah,
that's the
agreed.
issue.
100%.
And I'll say it again real quick. I do really think it's wise of Beazy to say that he could be the one to help educate the people by just putting it in the right people's hands. Basically, give it to the budtenders so the budtenders are able to guide the patients in a better way. It's something that goes a long, long way. It's just not something we're still seeing no matter what. It's just something we don't see. A lot of these budtenders have no clue what's going on, and a lot of them aren't necessarily hired because of their education level, more hired because of their credentials that don't necessarily make them a good fit for this position, but they just look good in the eyes of whoever really is judging it. And usually it's not necessarily an education level in the cannabis field which is going to land you a job in the cannabis field. It's a weird thing in the job system nowadays. You don't really have to know about the thing. It's more who you know or what qualification levels you've had through college or whatever, which doesn't always really result in a high level of education for that person. It's sad but true.